and Andrew with me today. What's up, guys? How's the market
Howdy,
looking?
howdy.
It's looking. Where's the alt season, man?
It's coming.
Summer alt
It's
season.
coming right now. It's coming today. I hope so. I don't know. Yeah, man, it's been pretty quiet since we've gone back from the long weekend. Um, coming into the long weekend, we had a nice big pop off. And then pretty much during the weekend, things just kind of got slowed down. I think a lot of just kind of de-risking, profit taking. We had a nice big pump. So it does make sense for the market to kind of calm down a bit. Even in the equity sides, we are just screaming higher still. No real structure here yet to call it a top here just yet. So I mean, I think we're still in an uptrend technically, especially if you look at equities. Like market still looks pretty decent. Things are still pointing up. No double tops yet. Momentum is a bit heavy, but these indexes just keep on going up. Um,
Yeah, I think I read or I said this last week that the stocks are the most overvalued ever.
yeah,
Um, I don't know when the big crash is gonna happen, or will it happen because we are printing so much money now, and
yeah,
also because of the big beautiful bill. There's gonna be a lot of spending. So I don't know. Interesting to see like what's going on. Obviously, like from my side, I think overall, July, August is usually very dead. But I guess Andrew, this is on you.
yes. It's tech seasonality and Jan barometer of this year, and it's
Whole
showing.
bear market is all on you, Andrew.
I mean, it's. I mean, I don't see any pause to this uptrend, man. This is probably going to keep going at least till fall, is what I'm thinking. If crypto could do the same thing, that'd be great. And I think it's trying. If we go over to the charts here, it's trying to consolidate right now. We're sitting right against like supports. These moving averages right now. We are up against the short reload zone. This is typically where resistance is going to step in. You got these previous highs as well. So we're just waiting right now to either potentially form a W, or if we're unlucky, we're going to form an M. So depending on which way this goes here right now, it's a pretty like tight range. We can either M out and then continue lower, or we start printing W's and we break above. And then once price breaks above, markets are going to go ape shit. If markets break down, then things will probably have to reset and come back down. Probably retest these previous lows. So we're really just sitting and waiting right now. People are still just coming back from long weekend, and so we're just consolidating right now. If you go in the lower time frame, 4 hours, we tried to W out, got rejected. We tried to break lower, pretty much bias came in again, and now we're just kind of sitting sideways here, waiting for this range to resolve essentially. So pretty much top of range, bottom of range, and we're probably just going to gyrate here for a little bit. Um, but I do still feel bullish, based on these, bigger cycle studies. It might take a bit longer, it might take another week or two, who knows? But as long as we don't start breaking lower than these lows here, we should be okay. So waiting again just for consolidation, waiting for those double bottoms, and once we get those structures, kind of like how we have on ETH here, if we get this double bottom on the daily starting to print, then I feel a little bit more confident that we will see that bullish pump that we're expecting. And equities are up; they're climbing higher still. Generally, if equities are pumping, crypto should technically do well as well. So. Yeah, I'm still leaning to the bull side. As you can see, ETH is potentially trying to put in a W here. If we can get back higher and confirm, that would be great. Or if we're unlucky, like on Bitcoin, we start printing in those M's again, and then we would probably have to retest those lows there. But as you can see, this is the range right now. You got this high, you got these lows, and you got all that wiggle room to play around in.
I've been looking at the ETH shorts at the moment quite heavily, and it's never been as big as before. People are
Like short?
heavily shorting Ethereum at the moment. So I don't know,
Interesting.
like, are they just trying to hedge, or what's the reason there's so many shorts on ETH? But I keep
Yeah,
seeing it constantly in crypto Twitter and so forth. But yeah, eager
yeah.
to see like.
I think it's because like there's like the ETH staking ETF stuff coming out soon. Um, ETH has just been hated on this entire cycle, just because like it's really underperformed compared to like Bitcoin. You know, like Bitcoin's broken its all time highs multiple times now. ETH still has yet to recapture its all time highs, and so a lot of people just hate on it. I think just naturally because of that. And then yeah, like most people kind of laugh at you when they tell you like you're buying or holding ETH. So that might actually lead to like a trade there. You know, if everybody's heavily short, everybody's thinking ETH is crap. You know, ETH might actually blow everybody's mind out and see it reach all time highs again eventually. Like,
The
who knows?
old Finkster ain't shy about buying Ethereum. He's got the BlackRock is now in just what, like 6 months, scooped up 1.5% of the supplies and like 600,000 ETH. They're just buying more and more and more.
Yeah. So I mean, institutions clearly know what they're doing. ETH is
Like,
obviously
think,
going to be.
That's what we think.
Well, I mean, right now we just gotta do follow the smart money, right? As they say. Like I don't know, like chart wise, like I don't really see any buys here. Like I don't see like too much. Like if you go on the 4 hour, prices are consolidating right now. You got double bottoms here. You got one trying to put in here. You got these bigger W's here. So there's a lot of supports for the price action here. If things do start breaking down, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to like chase these levels up here. Like, I would just rather just let the market consolidate, give a nice clean structure, and then maybe we can consider like trend continuation type setups. Like like A B. Let me see if that works. Hold on. Sometimes my charts don't work. So we do like a little A B C D kind of like a harmonic pattern. So you got your AB leg there, and then your CD leg there. So this is kind of what I'm thinking. If if prices do move, your up target would be around here, which is also kind of lines up with that 17.6 level. And generally, we just want to see some nice consolidations. Like if you get 3 higher lows like that, that could set up a pretty decent entry, and then you just pretty much risk against those lows, aiming for like a 3-to-1 at the top there. So that's kind of what I'm starting to see is like it's slowly creating these structures, and then generally when you get these long sideways consolidation, it usually means there's either a big move coming in or a breakdown. So.
I don't know. I look at that and I see weakness a little bit. I see that we could anytime crash and burn.
Yeah, I mean, we're really just like one headline away from things falling apart. Like pretty much the recent sell off yesterday was just because of like the tariff news on Asia. That kind of spooked the market a little bit, even though it's old news, kind of in my opinion. And then they have until August 1st before everything kind of gets hit. So we're just one article away from like a missile flying or something that Trump says, or who knows, right? Um, but TA wise, like things are consolidating, things are trying to consolidate and go sideways here. Um, Even on the dominance chart, Bitcoin dominance is trying to hold on to these lows here. Ideally, that breaks down lower. Alt indexes start curving back up and putting in some of these W's. And then hopefully this stablecoin dominance also starts breaking down lower. Because what you don't want to see is you don't want to see this starting to curve back up and the W's come in. Because that means that people are flowing back into cash. And obviously that means there's fear in the market, which isn't good for anyone. But I do see that it is sideways consolidating right now. So there is still some hope. And when I look at like most of these alts, generally, like they're all just going sideways. Like they're consolidating against bottom of the ranges, and they're trying to put in some kind of bottom potentially, right? I don't know when these markets are going to blow up, but like I like how like a lot of these things look. You're right against these bottom of the ranges again, right? You had these massive blow-offs. You get the long sideways consolidation. You get the blow-offs. You get the breakdown. You get the consolidation. You get the blow-offs. You get the breakdown. You get this consolidation, and then next thing you know, it blows up. And pretty much my setup that I love using is just looking at these, reload zones, looking at 61.8 to 78.6, looking for those double bottom structures, looking for oversold conditions and bullish diversions. So you got location, you got momentum, you got structure. So for me, like I just have to ignore all the noise, ignore everything else, play my setups. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, whatever. And then just manage your risk properly so that, if your trade goes wrong, you don't lose your entire portfolio. So I think personally we're in like a good spot for hunting. I've been saying this for weeks now. Like, you want to kind of hunt these like W's. You want to hunt the stuff that are within location. And then, you just pretty much risk to the new lows and hopefully things kind of pan out. If it is a bullish summer, then, these things should do well. And if not, then we might just have to come back in the fall. Like, I don't know. Just kind of going right now. So.
Yeah, the memes were rallying for a while now, for a week. At least Bonk was going crazy because of their new launch pad. Obviously, they're trying to now compete against Pump.Fun, and Pump.Fun is coming out now with their own token. So that's going to be interesting. But, like, I do agree. Like, there's a lot of bottoms. I do like the setups, but I'm still, like, I don't know. Every year, July, August is usually quite bad, but yeah.
You're right. Generally, summers are pretty quiet. Everybody's on vacations, all this stuff, right? But I don't know. I feel like might be a unique summer. Like a lot of people are also thinking the same of like shorting, not wanting to participate in the market this summer. And I think maybe because of all that, like there might be some opportunities. So only time will tell.
That's good. Nathan, what's happening on the news?
Oh man, nothing good. Well, there's some good crypto news, but yeah, like Andrew was saying earlier, it's been a rough start to the week with for news around the world. But we do have some. I'm gonna pretend the rest of that didn't happen and take a look at some positive crypto news. We're seeing every week more and more Bitcoin buying going on, price continuing to coil up and coil up and coil up. And now we have Bitcoin supply on exchanges at new lows. Keeps looking better and better on the crypto front. It's the macro front, the world economics and everything else that seem to be holding everything back. For some reason, people just don't seem to trust the government anymore around the world, and really don't understand why. But currently we talk about people needing to be confident in the markets and have consistency to be able to want to start aping in for that M2 supply to come back into risk on. We've seen the stock market's doing obviously continuing to pump up, but Bitcoin and the rest of the alts are holding back. Why that is, well, we're still trying to figure that out. But when it does happen, everything is aligned for an absolutely face-melting rip to the upside later this year. We have unbelievable amounts of institutions buying. Supply is falling to all-time lows. We've got more adoption. It's getting more publicity than it ever has before. So it's a matter of time. And when the dam breaks, hold on to your butts. We're gonna have a heck of a bull run the rest of this year. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on it. What's holding things back, but it's hard to see that people out there that are bearish right now saying, "Oh, cycle's topped." Okay, I just don't see how that's even remotely possible. You think that we've seen hundreds of billions of dollars in inflows, or at least tens of billions of dollars in inflows from BlackRock and the likes, governments buying. And they're just going to let Bitcoin retrace 70% from here? I don't think so.
That'd be wild.
I agree here. But we lived in such a weird year so far. Like we had wars, we had tariffs, we had Epstein list coming out, not.
Aliens.
Yeah, like
Aliens are next.
aliens or next. Yeah, like it's either aliens or what else, like new virus.
Yeah.
I don't
Bro.
know, but it's definitely been an interesting year. Fiat money is crumbling. We are just printing and printing and printing. You cannot trust the government. Obviously, like how they use their tax money is absolutely insane. I don't know. I have no trust anymore in the government. I've seen it all. But yeah, at least we can see like how the institutional are seeing the crypto market now. Like DeFi has been pumping like crazy. If you look at Aave, if you look at the TVL there, uh, I don't know. It's looking very bullish.
Yeah, I mean, all of the underpinnings for an amazing bull market are there. Like, we're actually getting users. We actually are getting more TVL. There's tons of money coming in. Again, as far as news stories go and getting press, never had this kind of attention for Bitcoin and crypto before. It kind of feels like the institutions are suppressing things while they can just accumulate as much as they want. Seems like a very traditional Wyckoff accumulation phase, and after that, well, there's a big upside. So, um, you know, not much we can do about the major market manipulation going on, other than prepare ourselves and do our best to get as big of a chunk of it for ourselves as we can. So, if you're out there, DCA, hodl, and whether it's in 1 month, whether it's in 6 months, whether it's in another year, I don't think any of us think that these markets are going away. There's just too much institutional adoption going on right now for the tens of billions of dollars that have poured into these markets. People have retirement funds in Bitcoin now. I don't think we're going to see it turn around and just go back to zero here. So I'm very bullish. Just gotta keep waiting. And on the regulatory front, we continue to see more stuff that's positive and bullish for. Depends who you ask, but things like this, the U.S. government is now dropping their appeal of the Tornado Cash lawsuit. We went from the U.S. arresting the founders of Tornado Cash how much was it? It was something like over $1 billion they were getting hit with for money laundering or legal wire fraud, et cetera, et cetera. Not only have they dropped all the charges and let them out of jail, now they're dropping the appeal. So this is the kind of stuff you want to see. This is the kind of regulation, the precedents that are going to be set that's going to allow DeFi to flourish.
No, I think like how the whole case went is that they basically coded this Tornado mixer, and they had no access to Tornado. Like it's a DeFi protocol. They have no access how people are using it and so forth. And during the Biden administration, I mean, they were very aggressive against crypto, and US was attacking really hard on DeFi protocols, and one of them was Tornado. So I think like this is a very good news. I think the guy who made it, the developer, there's so many other use cases than just money laundering with Tornado. So I don't know. Like I think it's a good thing.
I think it's great. The government can use it now, and they can hide all their dirty money that they're that they're all up to.
They've never had any problem with that before, though.
Yeah. Well, this is like a pretty big win for privacy in all, right? Like the previous government was very against the privacy market. Now you can actually be private, and like it's nice to see that the adoption's coming in. It's nice to see that the guy is free, and now we can launder our money quietly.
Absolutely, man. Makes it a lot easier now.
Yeah.
The Trump administration is set in that's 14 days from now to publish a report on Bitcoin and crypto policy, July 22nd, saying it may include recommendations on funding for a strategic Bitcoin reserve. A lot of different stuff has been talked about with this. They are talking about releasing information on regulation regarding CeFi and DeFi. They've talked about, as of course, funding a Bitcoin strategic reserve. If the government's going to actually start buying more Bitcoin rather than just hodling what we already have. They've talked about tax regulations and possibly dropping all capital gains tax for crypto assets or US-based crypto assets or just Bitcoin. They've talked about a lot of different things. There's been a lot of conjecture since Trump was elected in terms of what's actually going to happen with crypto in this country. And July 22nd, hopefully it's not another nothing burger. Hopefully it's not another Epstein client list. And we actually get some details on what's going to be coming from this administration around crypto, tax wise, regulation wise, and whether or not we're going to be able to start innovating in the U.S. again.
I mean, no taxes. That's always good to hear.
Oh God, dude! If we had no taxes, then we wouldn't need to use Tornado Cash so much. Just keep it easy. Michael Saylor, huge announcement over the weekend. MicroStrategy getting ready to buy another $4.2 billion in Bitcoin. Not buying just yet. They're setting up their strategy to be able to get that money first. Again, more leverage on top of more leverage, but they will be buying another $4.2 billion in Bitcoin in the relatively near future. The man's an absolute animal. I don't know if long-term this is going to be good or not, but I mean, you want to talk about conviction. I mean, the balls on that guy and his belief in Bitcoin are unrivaled.
I mean, where is he getting the money? That's the question, right?
Well, it's the Ponzi scheme that's not a Ponzi scheme that he's worked out. Like, he leveraged stock to get the cash to buy more Bitcoin, puts the Bitcoin on the books, and then Bitcoin goes up, which makes the stock go up, which means they can load more money out to buy more Bitcoin, which makes the stock go up so they can load more money out to buy more Bitcoin. And then just kind of like infinity money loop. It's slightly, if you talk to a finance person, they'll try and make it much more complicated and confusing than that and tell you why it's never going to fail. But these things typically always fail at some point. So who knows? Maybe this time next year when we're kind of getting into the heart of the bear market, and we need that good big catalyst that always happens every bear market, whether like the Luna, the FTX, whatever it is next time. Maybe it'll be MicroStrategy unwinding, and maybe we'll see Congress step in and have to bail out BlackRock and MicroStrategy like they have the banks and the automotive industry multiple times, the housing industry, et cetera. So maybe we're next on that list. Maybe that's what saves us in the bear market. Maybe as soon as everybody starts going super leveraged short on Bitcoin, then the U.S. government is going to step in and get us all liquidated and pump the Bitcoin back up.
4 years.
Save everybody. But we'll see. It's going to be very interesting, wild times over in the near future here. We don't know what's going to happen. When you have, we talk about with the auto industry bailouts and the bank bailouts and that with the housing, it's always been, the bank's too big to fail. This automotive industry too big to fail. Housing, blah, 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 too big to fail. What would it do to our economy? What would it do to the world economy if we let them fail? Well, now you have BlackRock holding how many tens of billions in Bitcoin and Ethereum on their books. Same with pick all your top institutional funds out there. MicroStrategy, U.S. government's going to be holding it. Other governments around the world, by the end of this bull run, you're going to have 100, 200, 300 NASDAQ top, the S&P 500 companies with major Bitcoin positions. It always collapses, 60, 70, 80% in the bear market. How does that work when you have these TradFi companies in there? I don't see them letting that happen again.
Don't question the system.
Yeah.
Scary words.
Anyways,
Nathan, you're turning bearish. What is this?
No, I'm bullish. I'm just saying, short term. I think we're going to be pumping to could be an insane number. I think I'm starting to feel like 200K might be bearish for this bull run.
Yeah, God.
Bro, there was saying you need only one Bitcoin to make yourself a millionaire, and I think that's going to be the case. Just wait 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years. The 5-year horizon is always the safest. And every 4 years, just follow the halving cycle. That's as simple as that.
Just buy altcoin.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that too and just get beat up like I am right now. But, when you get these 70% corrections, that's going to be when you want to be buying. You don't want to be buying shit up here at these prices. This is just, you're chasing tops.
But that might not happen anymore. We have institutions saving us.
I don't know, man. Institutions are in stocks, and have you seen like small caps? They fall 90% all the fucking time. Even blue chips, they'll fall 40, 50%. It happens. And the problem with these guys is they're leveraging so heavily to buy Bitcoin, and like at a certain point, like they're gonna have to liquidate, or like who knows what's gonna happen. Like, what if Bitcoin falls down to 70K? Like, that's a really big possibility. And then if they're all underwater, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna panic? Are they gonna buy more? Or are they gonna, defend the price?
BlackRock will come in and buy everything.
Yeah, I mean, they technically could. They own the world technically already. So,
So yeah, fun times ahead, right?
yeah.
A lot more stories of adoption. We've covered dozens of these ad nauseum. I mean, if you rewinded a little, a year ago, who'd ever thought we'd be like tired of talking about, this new company adopted a Bitcoin strategy. This new bank's going to allow people to custody Bitcoin. But I mean, I don't know. Do you guys that are watching, do you want to see us talk about every single time this happens now? Because it's happening like 20 times a week at this point. So it's super bullish. It's super like great to see the adoption. And it's kind of funny because, a year ago, a single story like this would have been like the news of the month and like rocketed Bitcoin up 10%. And now it's like, meh, it's only the second biggest bank in Spain. Like,
No, I think our audience has been listening us too much.
could be, man.
Every week for the past 8 weeks.
Yeah. Then it's not stopping. I mean, Metaplanet, which is the Japanese MicroStrategy, they're planning on buying another $241 million worth of Bitcoin. They already hold almost $2 billion in Bitcoin. This will take them up pretty close to that $2 billion mark. More and more bullish stuff. Elon Musk saying he's going to make his own political party that embraces Bitcoin, saying fiat is hopeless.
Yeah, Trump didn't like that. Trump was very upset with that, and of course Tesla falls like 8% that day. Like, you guys need to chill.
A lot of shit talking going on back and forth between
giants.
Yeah. What else? This is pretty big. We've got an FOMC meeting, in like 10 days here in July?
No, I think, isn't that just the recap from last month?
Oh, it could be. I thought August there's no FOMC. I thought there was in July. I could be wrong.
I thought it was the minutes recap because they do that every month.
We do have a rate cut possibility for July, though. No?
I'm looking through right now. Let me see.
Trump's gonna probably kick out Powell and be like, "All right, peasant, you're up."
Yeah, I don't see any Fed meetings. I just see the recap of the minutes from last month.
I thought they were talking about possible rate cut in July. I know I saw some like Polymarket or call sheet odds for it, which, I mean, they can always call it an emergency meeting, but maybe none scheduled.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see anything right now unless it's like at the end of the month, but yeah.
Well, now inflation, according to their numbers, not everybody else's numbers, which are probably much more accurate, but according to their super slow to catch up numbers, inflation is now below their goal of 2%. Like, there hasn't been an excuse for a while. Now, even by their own, numbers, by their own metrics, there's no excuse not to cut rates. If we don't see a cut and much more, a flip in the script from Jerome Powell, he's out of there.
But I don't think they're not using Trueflation's data. They're using their data, which is still at like 4% or something like that. So like Trueflation's Trueflation says 2%, but it means dick all. Like the government doesn't give a shit. They're like, dude, we're not using this.
Well, I thought the Fed's rates were even pretty close to that now. They're like 2.1, 2.2, weren't they?
They need to get lower.
Yeah. But end of the day, we'll see. We can't control that. But this is why, as Elon Musk says, fiat is hopeless.
Amen.
But I guess a positive story, at least in my opinion, coming out of Europe, the ECB president, who I can't remember. I can't remember her name, but she's that ghouls on TV quite often.
Yeah.
Saying stable coins could trigger the privatization of money and urges global regulation before adoption accelerates. And everybody in crypto goes, yeah, that's the fucking point. Like, so it's good that we've got them scared a little bit. We've got the central banks understanding that the cat's out of the bag, and they're scrambling to try and put it back in.
Yeah. I mean, the central banks could just do it themselves. I think they're already planning on it, right?
Oh, sure.
They just don't want like people buying Elon dollars and trying to trade it with their dollars. It can get pretty messy.
It's legal now in the U.S., so if Europe's going to try to go against it and corral and only allow for CBDCs, they're going to have some very strong pushback from the economic powers that be throughout Europe.
Europe's falling apart, man. They're so behind.
It is. They're going to start taking Jan's money out of his savings account to fund their bills.
Well, they've done that already. There's nothing to take, man.
Oh shit.
Yeah, overall, I mean, we got a few other interesting stories. Jack Dorsey, who again kind of ruined his reputation. It's hard to trust the guy now after what he did with what came out when the Twitter files kind of exposing him. He tries to position himself as a bastion for free speech and Bitcoin and anti-centralization and censorship, etc. But his track record at Twitter speaks quite differently. But he's launched his own decentralized messaging app that uses Bluetooth to allow people to transfer Bitcoin without the need of Wi-Fi, without the need of cellular plan, etc. Kind of similar to what during the riots in Hong Kong back in 2014. The students there developed their own system, and it works by encrypting messages and pinging between phones as phones come in contact with each other to create essentially an intranetwork. So for something like this to work, you need to have more. You need to have as many people. This works better the more people you have using it. Allows more the messages to transfer more quickly. I don't know if they have any sort of centralized means, whether or not if the initial person sends it to someone without internet, if someone else has the internet on their phone, they can then jump across the world. I don't know exactly how it works, but overall, kind of cool stuff. What this would of course allow us to do is again escape certain censorship in certain regions around finances if they're either blocking the internet or they are blocking traffic to certain sites on the internet. This allows you to still transact with Bitcoin and maybe other crypto soon.
No, I think this is cool. Like, this is a good use case if a country like going to war and something happens and you need to communicate. But obviously, or protests. Usually, protests are the ones that you have jamming technology. You can't get anything across. So yeah, but yeah, looking good. Interesting to see where this is going. But yeah. As you said, Jack Dorsey, not a great person.
Yeah, you want to like the guy, but it's hard. I talked a little bit about this, but I think there'll be more explanation on what's going on here. The Ways and Means Commission, the House Ways and Means, which is an oversight committee, at a hearing on Wednesday, they are putting forward legislation and framework to make America the crypto capital of the world. So expect to see more out on that on the 22nd. Again, you really like something that this administration are doing. Love that they're trying to open up this industry and let people come in and innovate and thrive, lower taxes, lower regulation, make it clear so that people can come in and work here. And there's other things they're doing that just make you think that it's all for naught. But we'll see. We do what we can here.
Yeah, you can't really affect it. Just have to live with it. We're really lucky. We're in Asia. We don't have to think about it that much, but cool to see stuff. We are at 35 minutes. Anything else to say? Any good news?
No, I think that's, that's about it for the news today. Be patient. We've got some great OTC deals right now. We've actually got a slew of new deals that are in. I think we got like a little over half a dozen new high quality OTC deals. If anybody's interested in checking some of those out, ping myself, Andrew, or Jan. Shoot us a message on not Facebook, on X. Happy to chat with you guys. We'll get an NDA in place. We can discuss different terms on some great OTC deals. We have some fantastic M&A deals up for grabs right now. Some really, really high quality assets, assets that have revenue, users, TVL, combination of those, some with all three, price to sell. So if you guys are looking to grow your company by acquisition, happy to get on a call and chat about how we can make that happen.
And please like, share, and subscribe, and see you next Friday. No, this Friday, sorry.
And leave a comment if you like Jan's new hair.
Shut up.
Take care, guys.